I just wanted to have a little call there and just chat to you guys about how do we invite people to these calls and how we grab people's attention. And Clinton um, shared some strategies and ways to do that. That for me is very exciting. We're going to dig deeper with that over the next coming weeks because I think that is a very, very important part of the process where people are struggling. And yeah, I'm quite excited for Clint just to share a bit of insight there. We've had long discussions about this, and he's had quite a bit of experience with it as well. So, Clint, I'm gonna hand it over to you, and yeah, I'm also just gonna give some input there, because I know what you're gonna share is fire. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is the most critical time in many respects to getting someone involved if they have an inclination. Now, let's keep in mind that not everybody wants to do the affiliate side. It's fine. You know, eventually, if they want to, that's great. And we certainly don't want to push them because we absolutely need straight customers. But for people that, I know Wilson and I and some of the other people here, we've got experience with people who are in the network marketing industry. So they're not afraid to talk to people. And I don't want to say the most crucial time, but one of the best times to get people excited is as soon as they push the buy button. They've made that purchase. They're buying I forget the names of it, whether it's a silver or gold package, the new names, and they've made that commitment. They're excited. Now is the time to get them to take some action, even if it's nothing more than going through their list and seeing people that have health ailments. Now, think about this for a minute. If you're selling protein shakes or CBD oil or insurance or whatever, we've all heard the thing about make a list of your friends and get them involved in the coffee business. Well, that is painful, but let's think about what we're doing. Okay, we are helping people improve their health. We're helping people reduce their pain. We're helping people in many respects quite possibly elongate their lives more in a more quality fashion. So I think the first thing we want to do is mindset. And that mindset is I want to help you. You in my case, arthritis. I couldn't walk. In Wilson's case, it was his mother's pain, in her back. What is it we can do to help? And if we get that mindset clear in our mind, we're not selling anything, we're solving a problem. Okay. Now, the second thing we want to do is get people to a webinar. And what I like to do, and what Wilson and I both have a friend by the name of Robert Burns, who's been in the business a long, long time. He talks about the three allies, and we talked about this before, where when you approach someone, it's not, hey, come to this meeting, and we're gonna show you how to fix your arthritis. No, no. Hey, I've got something. Three things. You want to talk about three things. I have something for you. Talk about their arthritis or their diabetes or whatever. It may or may not be for you. That's the most critical statement. It takes the pressure off them. It takes the pressure off you. It takes the pressure off the relationship. Okay. Hey, Wilson, I know your mom's been having a lot of problems with her back. I've got something. It may or may not be for your mom. It'll only take about 2 minutes to watch a video. Can I send that? Three things. Okay. Now, what we want to do with that is get them into what I call micro agreements. If they get in the habit of saying yes, we're going to be better off. Okay. So the other option, and this is what Robert teaches, and I kind of like to go for the micro agreements. Robert uses that as a way to invite people to half-an-hour webinar. It's a big ask for people these days. What we want to do is get them to watch, see a little splash page that we have, and I'll share that. Wilson, can I get the share capability?
Yeah, no problem. Let me just quickly allow all participants. See if you're good to go there.
See, yep, looks like we're good. And share. So let me know if you can see. Now
Boom.
I've shown this to you before, and I don't want this to turn into a technical analysis or anything. This actual page has no links on it whatsoever. You can open an account with Leads Leap, you can copy this, or you can just use this link. Okay. But this was designed by actually by Robert's team that really is good. I think this image is phenomenal. And if you'll notice, what we've done here is this is nothing more than setting the stage for the body to heal itself. And that's a pretty profound statement. But if you'll notice, not one single mention or tease about LifeWave, and nowhere is our stem cells mentioned. Okay, so that's very, very, very important. I then have a video down here that I recorded. I will give you guys this link and you can have a listen to it. I'm actually going to probably eventually get a more professional video done, but this one works well. Okay, so again, what are we doing? Hey, I've got something. You mentioned you've got some arthritis. It's really hurting you. I've got something that may or may not be for you that might address that. Can I send you to a page with a short video with more information? That's it. That's it. And what's going to happen then is people will see the video. There's no link. There's nothing to join. There's no request for money. All we are doing is getting them to ask the next question. Wow, this sounds interesting. What's next? Funny you should mention that. We have a webinar in 15 minutes. Okay? So that's what we want to do. And I think most of you know, the last week I was actually watching my grandchildren for a week while my daughter and son-in-law went to Europe for a wedding. And so I've been kind of out of the loop. So I'm getting back in. I would say by the early part of next week, I want to start doing these meetings before the meeting where we gather in a conference room, in a Zoom room, and reach out to our warm market. I'm going to do it. People can join me if they want to. I'm just going to reach out to my warm market, knowing the people that may have problem with arthritis or maybe a heart ailment or something. Share the video. When they say this is interesting or what's next, invite them to the webinar. That's it. Okay. So any thoughts or comments or questions? Wilson, any kind of embellishment there that you want to do?
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Our ultimate goal is to get people to ask for more information. And I mean, there's a lot that we've done based on that. You can drip feed people our training that we've done of all the messages that you can send in sequence. But ultimately, what I've seen is if we can get people onto a call, the conversion rate's really high. So I really like what you've done here. The fact that there's no links on there. Yeah, people are more than welcome to use it. And then if we have to now take it a step further, Clint, let's now say they want more information. For example, what do we say to them in the lines to get them onto a call? Because ultimately, we've touched on that, and I really like your take on it. The one thing that I want people to realize is that you don't need to know much about this business. You need to be good at one thing, and that's inviting people. And you don't need any information. You just need to get excited about this enough so they can hear it in your voice and say, hey, I found something incredible. I want you to have a look at it. I want you to meet my friend. He's an expert. I don't want to give you any information because I can't answer the questions, but I want to introduce you to somebody. Come join us. And I mean, there's many opportunities to do that, but just by being good at that, you can build a phenomenal team within LifeWave, and you can also get it to duplicate, which is what we are after. This is something that you could share with people that would want to get the word out and do it quickly. I mean, there's a lot to learn here over time, and I do want people to go through that process. But by applying this properly, we could get a lot of traction without knowing much, and we can get it to duplicate quicker, which is the ultimate goal. So that's just something I wanted to mention there, Clint.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
we've all heard this.
well,
Go ahead.
I
yeah,
can't.
sorry, Clint,
Yeah.
if you don't mind me just adding one or two quick things there. Um, I think a lot of people, when we get started with a new industry, especially when it comes to sales or network marketing, people never want to feel as if they are inexperienced or that they don't know their product. So a lot of people always want to study the compensation, study the product, know exactly what to say, how to say it, and that tends to slow your business down. A lot of people are going to look at what are you doing, and they are going to duplicate exactly what Wilson and Clint are busy saying at the moment. The best advice that I was given when I first got involved in network marketing is exactly what Clint is saying now. Learn how to become a professional at inviting people to a call and learn how to edify your upline. If it's someone that you're working with, speak highly of them as if they are the expert in the industry and get them on a call, because then when your business starts to grow and your prospects see how you grew your business just by inviting them to a Zoom call, they can duplicate that. And the more you join the Zoom calls or the three-way calls or the presentations, then you're going to become knowledgeable on the product, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to then answer questions when you do have a one-on-one coffee with someone. I just wanted to add that.
Well, yeah,
That's
really, really good. And one of the
love
things that
that.
we need to be, one of the things we need to get good at is, I'm going to use the word deflection. It may not be the exact right word, but what will happen is, people, especially your friends, they're going to push on you. Well, what is it? What's it about? And what you want to do is kind of, good old, Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope, just kind of, deflect and say, this, this is so important. I don't want to mess it up. Okay. My good friend Wilson is doing a webinar in 15 minutes. Just pop in. Well, what's it about? Well, and the whole point is to emphasize that you may not have all the answers, and it's too important for you to goof up, if you will. And there's different ways to come across that. And maybe one of the things, Wilson, we can do going forward too is some role playing and things like that, just to kind of learn how to handle it. But um, the power in this is so huge. Just imagine every single person that does buy the product has their own sphere of influence. Every single person, I'm sure, wants to help other people. And so just imagine if everybody that signed up, we could get them to invite, a half a dozen people over the course of a few weeks. And each one of those half dozen would do the same. We could blow this thing up. And if we keep reminding ourselves that we're helping other people, we're not a predatory wolf. We're not trying to sell somebody something. We're just trying to introduce them to a solution, to potentially a longer and quite certainly a more healthy life. So it looked like, Paul, did you have a question or a comment? Did I see you raise your hand?
Yeah. I just wanted to say more than welcome to unmute yourself there, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add to all 3 or 4 of you. I've lost count to how many people have spoken so far on this brilliant topic. What I like about what you've just said, Clint, and the rest of you, sorry, man, my eyes are jumping tonight. I can't see the names properly on the screen. What really stands out to me is the inviting part and not the presenting part. Because, like you said, when people start out, then they get overwhelmed by having to tell someone what the business is about when they don't have the answers. So I like the part about inviting. But the next part that you mentioned was that my friend or someone else that you know will be presenting the business if it's not your upline, your specific upline. But what that then says, it says 2 things. To me, it would say 2 things. It would say, first of all, you are vulnerable and you're also starting out. You are human. You don't know all the answers, but there is someone above you that knows the answers and can help. So that also makes the person that you're speaking to probably think, if I'm in the same situation, at least there's a team that I can rely on, because it's happening for me right now. So the team will probably back me up if I bring people, and that's why I can do it much easier. So it actually shows them that it is possible. So like you say, if we also lead by example, if we're not the one presenting, but just at least bring them to a meeting where one of the team members that is capable of doing and presenting will then present the business to them, then surely We will grow our teams to the point that where maybe when you've been on enough webinars, you should be able to do it eventually, and then you can just do it for your team going down the line. I think that's a brilliant.
Well, just to add something there, it's so important. You know, I've got people in my team that know everything about the business. And when they speak to somebody, it's a 40-minute chat. And in the bigger picture, that's the worst thing that you can do, because that person is going to think, but how am I going to do that? And if we take that out of the equation and we say, hey, I either want to get you on a one-on call. I mean, many of those people can actually do a one-on-one call with people and close them. But ultimately, you don't want to do that on the first chat. You want to schedule a time and you want to then go in guns blazing, either on a presentation or with your upline, because there's always somebody above you that can help you in this process. I'm working directly with my people that I've signed up directly, and we've done many three-way calls that's gotten them up to this point. But leveraging the team that we have and going up to your nearest upline and getting onto three-way calls and one-on-one meetings and showing people that's the process is how we're going to get it to duplicate quicker, because not everyone will be able to speak about this for 45 minutes like I can do, or Clint can do, or Carlo can do. But anyone on this call right now can get good at inviting people, because it's literally a 30-second chat that you can have with somebody. So yeah, I absolutely love that. And I really want us to dig deeper with this, Clint. I think this is the most important part of the equation that's been missing. And I mean, the idea was not to have an hour conversation tonight. The goal is to give you guys a tool that's going to make the process getting new people in front of calls or in front of an upline easier. Because we get that right and we get that to duplicate, the movement's going to come.
Well, yeah, and I just want to, compliment Paul again, because that observation is brilliant, and it was like, yeah. And that is, it reminds me of what I like to tell people. When I'm doing a presentation, if there's that hint of interest, you know what they're thinking? They're not wondering how the copper peptides work. They're probably not even worrying about the compensation plan. They're not even what they're worried about. What do I have to do to be successful? Yeah. And so, if, as Paul rightly pointed out, if our system is to get good at inviting, everyone can do that. Yeah. That's it. And if we share this, this little page and this little video here, a half an hour before scheduled webinars. And don't forget, we've got webinars which are really not convenient for South Africa, but there are webinars during the week too that are done by the company. And so if we get good at inviting people and all they see is, okay, great, I'm anxious to, have some pain reduction or whatever the case may be, and all they have to do to be successful is invite and just copy what is being done. And if all of a sudden we've got 10, 20, 30 new people in a webinar and they all came because they were invited, people go, I can do that. You mean Wilson made $1,000 last week? Wait a minute, Paul made 2,000 last week. I can do that, because you know what Paul did? He invited people. That's it. And it just is so utterly simple. And then when you start getting, because of the comp plan, because of the viral nature of the binary, you're going to start seeing volume, even if it's in your power leg or 1 year legs. That gets exciting to wake up in the morning and go look at your volumes. Wow, I've got 1,000 more volume here. I gotta get to work. So the dynamics of this compensation plan lends it to the viral nature of this. And if we can just, every single person that buys the product and has an interest in the affiliate side, if we can get them to take action right away, we could blow this thing up.
Yeah, something I just wanted to add there, Clint, and that's also something I learned from you and Robert Burns. Me and Clint go way back, and we were connected through a really, really a well-known and long-term network marketer, Robert Burns, absolute ninja with all sorts of things regarding building teams and systems and one thing he does after the meetings is the meeting after the meeting. And if you can get good at inviting and you can set up a call right after the meeting for the people who's excited about it, that's where the business is done. It's like the old school way of the Tupperware parties. People went to the presentation and then the business happened in the coffee shop afterwards. And okay, a senior person should be on that call. If you organizing meetings after the meeting, please send me links for that so I can be in there, and let us duplicate that with the people underneath us. But ultimately, that system, get good at inviting, do a meeting after the meeting for the people who were there so you can just engage with them, hear what they liked, what they want more info on, for example, and then that could get a lot of traction very quickly without people having to do too much. And that's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate goal, because that is what's going to get the duplication to duplicate, and that's what we need. That's ultimately what we need here.
No, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely. And I'm actually going to start doing meetings after the evening webinars here in the US, the evening company webinars, once I get some traction going. And initially there may not be anybody coming in afterwards, but if I have a group of people and we all tell people, hey, as soon as the company meeting is over, here's the link to come ask questions, just kind of, chat a little bit. I think that's, like you said, the real business is done at the coffee shop after the main, the main convention or whatever the thing may be. So.
Yeah, I mean, people buy products, they don't buy people. Carlo, there's lots of background noise coming in there. I'm just muting you there, buddy. There's sorry, where was I now? People buy products. People don't buy products, they buy people. And having that interaction with somebody after the meeting, now it's them and you. And I think that's very important, especially if people are going to be good at inviting. So I think we nailed it tonight, guys. I don't want this to be an hour meeting. Did you guys like what we shared? Is there anybody that would like to add something? And I think we're going to dig a bit deeper just with what was shared here. I know that you have an in-depth presentation on the three allies. Maybe we can shorten that a bit. It would be nice just to have that also shared, because I mean that's the one thing we need to get good at, yeah, and get people to get good at.
So Robert has one that I kind of followed his outline from years and years ago. I will cut that down. I think it was a little bit long, and just get to the basics.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is this page that you're seeing here on the shared screen. I will eventually turn that into a captured page too that you can use for cold market. Because one of the other things that we need to, that I need to do, at least for myself and my team, is I want to rely on the webinars, but I also don't want to make them the main focal point, because it's hard for people to adjust their lives to our schedule. So if we have a recording that we can share, that also works itself. Right? If we can get people to the webinar, we want to do that. But the most important thing is to get them to see the information that we share. And I think that the presentation that Wilson has done working with Chris, and having so much testimonial within the presentations. To be honest, that's one of the things about the company webinars that I find a little bit kind of cold, is it's all clinical and it's all, spit polish and all, well done and everything. But those are kind of cold. I like that, Wilson, you talk right out of the gate talking about your mom, and when Lindy does her presentations, she emphasizes what patches have done for her mom. I think that is so important. Yeah, we want to tell who David Schmidt is, and we want to talk about the fact we're on pace for $1 billion next year, and how the patches work and the copper peptides. What we want to know is that Wilson's mom is doing so much.
Yeah.
We want to know that Clint can take his walks. We want to know that Lindy's mom has made a miraculous, recovery. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
How we get there isn't as important as that we can get there by using the patches.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, sorry, Wilson.
Love that. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Clint, I saw one or two people joining the call a little bit late after you covered the point. So Before we close the call, if I can maybe just ask you to summarize again those three specific points, so that those who actually join the call a little bit late can actually understand the steps of how to invite someone, and those of us who have heard it can just summarize it again and have that as closing.
A really good idea. And we will do a formal presentation. I'll try and keep it, to 20 minutes or so. And, we'll kind of pencil in Wilson maybe for next Wednesday if I can get caught up from the past couple of weeks of chaos in my life. But this is basically a theory from our good friend Robert Burns, and he calls it the three allies. And so there's three things that you want to accomplish in a very, very short conversation. And the first is that you have something and you want to be able to identify it. This is for your warm market. So, gee, I recently discovered something that might be, you mentioned you had some real problem with your arthritis. I might have something that might be good for you. So the first thing is identify that you have something for them to address their pain point. Now, I use the word pain as a broad description. It might be pain or it might be problem they have, whether it's diabetes or whatever. Okay. So number one, identify the issue and you have something. The next piece is super important. Okay. This may or may not be for you. Write those words down and say them exactly that way. This may or may not be for you. It absolutely takes all the pressure off you, all the pressure off your prospect, your friend, and it takes the pressure off the relationship. May or may not be for you. All right. So you're setting that stage. It also sets a little alarm in the back of the person's head saying, wait a minute, isn't it for me? Okay. So you're getting them to already start their thinking. And then finally invite them to watch a short video. And that's what this page is right here. You can copy that link. There's no links on this. There's no mention of LifeWave. There's no mention of stem cells. There's no link to join anything. This is just a setup a splash page. And so again, I may have something for you. It may or may not be for you. And can I send you a video? Ask for permission. Now, the other thing that we want to do, folks, is don't just send it to them. If I send it to you now, Wilson, do you have time to watch it now, or would it be better a little bit later after the kids are in bed? Okay, and then follow up exactly. Because if you just send off the link willy-nilly, yeah, okay, it's something else. But if you get their commitment, again, micro commitments, it's only a 2-minute video. Can you watch it now? Oh, okay, you're taking the kids to school. Great. Can I send it in an hour? Just text me when you're back and I'll send it to you. That way, they're making a commitment to do it. And once they do that, then you can follow up with them to see their interest, and more importantly, invite them to the webinar. So did that answer, Paul? I think it was you, wasn't it? Or was it Paul or Carlo that was asking for the recap? So again, first thing is I have something that might solve one of your issues. It may or may not be for you, and get their micro commitment to watch the video and ask permission to send it.
Yeah, Clint, that was excellent. Thank you so much for that summary. I think it really touched on some of the people who joined late. And then if I can maybe just add on following up on a video, this is something that I learned from one of my other uplines in other businesses. He's one of my business partners, Martin. He always says when you send someone a video, the follow-up question is, what did you like most about the video? That allows them to have to watch it and have to tell you something good about the video. And then you can work off what they spoke about, whether it was the compensation plan, whether it was the fact that it reactivates their stem cells, or whether it's that your shoulder, or Wilson's mom or dad, or whatever testimony worked. So that's also a very important follow-up question.
Absolutely love that, guys.
Excellent.
Absolutely love that. Clint, thank you so much, brother. I pressed on your button quite quickly, and I really appreciate that. You just came in and nailed it. I think we've given some really, really valuable tips this evening. I'll work now and get this video uploaded. Christine asked a question, and it was a really good one. So she said, how long do you keep your accumulated points for, especially for beginners? So just to break that down quickly, to accumulate points in the binary, you need to be active. That means you need to at least order a product a month. It can be any product. That keeps your account in good standing, and then you start accumulating these points. Now, I've been in the business 21 months. I've now accumulated points for 21 months because my account's been active. So how it works is after a year, you start losing the points that you generated a year back. So let's say you started in December, a year later, that month in December, the following year, you will lose the previous year's December's points. I have to tell you that because of how the binary works, you lose some points, but because of the people that come in underneath you, I think most people that keep the account active for a year will get a lot of traction because we are moving. So you don't really lose, I must be honest. The biggest thing is, yeah, you need to keep your account active to actually get to that place. So, Christina, I hope that answered your
Thank you.
question.
Thank you. Hi, Wilson.
Hey,
It's been a while, but
yes.
we are still very motivated, and I've sort of been thinking of a number of other ways, that I can bring in people. But I think I really value, what was said this evening, just in relation that one mustn't force, any situation. Even though one is very excited, because I think for me, basically, I made the mistake of, getting a little bit too, and then if you don't have the people who are just coming from their own steam, it kind of really can fall apart, and it's like you climbed and then it's like it falls flat, and so I'm very excited about the convention, the coming up with David Schmidt presenting what's and I wanted to just ask you, because I have sort of been able to keep track of some of the conversation, but are we able to watch those live stream presentations for free, or is there payment?
I've bought a ticket and I'm going to be streaming it on Chris's channel. I'm doing it for him. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so
I'm
much,
streaming
Wilson.
everything on Chris's account. We have been sending notifications out of when exactly it's going to happen.
You.
So yeah, on top
thank
of
you, Wilson.
We'll definitely have that out to the community. And quite excited, guys.
Okay.
In a really good space. It's the 20-year convention. A whole bunch of things are going to be shared. So yeah, excited for the weekend. So guys, I think let's take this in for a landing. I didn't want this to have a really long meeting. I think we covered a couple really important points. And yeah, thank you for everyone that's joined us. I see Fiona, I see you unmuted yourself.
Oh, sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay, no problem. Awesome to have you on the call, my friend. So guys, thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate you. Let's dig a bit deeper with this. If you can please just work a little bit on that 3 Allahs presentation. I'd love you to dig a bit deeper next week if you could do that. It's really what we're going to need to get people excited about inviting people. Because we get that right, and nothing's going to stop us.
No, I agree. And, we can keep up our other marketing, our cold marketing and all those types of things. But if we can just tap into the warm market of every person, I mean, I've got, I think, 120 people in my downline. Most of them are from you. But if we could get, a third or a quarter of those people to, reach out to their warm markets, we could get things exploding, and it just becomes an absolute self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will.
And this is very duplicatable. That's the thing.
So, yeah.
Fantastic, guys.
Good stuff.
Let me end that here, Carlo. Thank you for joining us. Paul, Lindy, all the leaders. I appreciate you guys so much. We had an awesome session. And yeah, let's get cracking, guys. Have an amazing week. Further, see you for the convention on the weekend.
Stuff. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.